If you're a man over 60, there's something I need to tell you. Something most doctors never bring up at your annual checkup. Most of the fatigue you're carrying around, the fading drive, the slower mornings, the quiet loss of confidence that's been creeping in, it may not be age at all. It may be your plate. More specifically, it may be what's missing from it. I know that sounds almost too simple. But stay with me, because what I'm about to share has changed the lives of hundreds of men I've worked with over the past 25 years, and it has nothing to do with prescriptions, injections, or any of those late-night infomercial supplements. I'm Dr. Chloe Bennett, a men's health specialist based right here in the United States, and I've spent over 2.5 decades helping men just like you reclaim their energy, their strength, and their sense of self. And what I've found, time and time again, isn't complicated. It's actually sitting in the produce section of your local grocery store. There are 3 fruits, 3 specific fruits that quietly work together to rebuild circulation, restore hormonal balance, and reignite the kind of energy you thought you'd left behind in your 40s. No side effects, no embarrassing pharmacy runs, just real food doing what nature designed it to do. Now, before we get into it, I want to address something up front because I know some of you have watched other videos on this channel and maybe heard conflicting things, especially about bananas. I hear you, and I'm going to clear that up completely when we get to fruit number 3. No more confusion, I promise. If you're someone who cares about feeling strong, staying sharp, and living fully after 60, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video made specifically for you. And as we go through this, if something resonates, drop a 1 in the comments. If something doesn't land right, drop a 0 and tell me what you want to hear more about. I read every single comment. All right, let's start with fruit number 1. And honestly, this one surprises most people. It's not exotic, it's not expensive, and you've probably walked past it 100 times without giving it a second look. But the science behind it, the real peer-reviewed clinical science, is remarkable. Let's talk about pomegranate. I'll never forget a patient of mine. I'll call him Robert. He was 71, retired Army veteran, the kind of man who spent his whole life being the strong one in the room. When he finally sat down across from me in my office in Phoenix, he looked tired in a way that went beyond sleep. He said, "Doc, I feel like someone turned the dimmer switch down on my whole life." His energy was gone, his confidence was shaken, and intimacy with his wife had quietly faded to the point where they'd both just stopped bringing it up. What Robert didn't know, and what most men over 60 don't realize, is that the core issue often isn't hormones. It isn't age, it's blood flow. And when blood flow slows down, everything slows down with it. Your energy, your mental clarity, your physical performance, all of it. Here's where pomegranate comes in. This fruit, ancient, deeply studied, and still underutilized in mainstream American health advice, is packed with compounds called polyphenols. These polyphenols do something remarkable inside your arteries. They boost your body's production of nitric oxide, a molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and expand. When that happens, blood moves more freely, circulation improves, and the areas of your body that depend most on healthy blood flow, your heart, your brain, and yes, the parts of your body that matter most in the bedroom, they start to wake back up. In one well-documented clinical study, older men who drank pomegranate juice daily saw measurable improvements in erectile strength and endurance in as little as 2 weeks. 2 weeks, no prescription required, no side effects, just fruit. And that's not all. Pomegranate also works to reduce chronic inflammation, lower oxidative stress, and support prostate health. For men dealing with frequent nighttime bathroom trips or that uncomfortable pressure that comes with an aging prostate, pomegranate offers real natural relief. Robert did exactly what I recommended. Every morning, first thing, 6 ounces of pure unsweetened pomegranate juice. That's it, nothing fancy. Not the sugary cocktail blends you see at the gas station. Pure, unsweetened, 100% pomegranate juice. And yes, store-bought is fine, as long as it's not loaded with added sugar. Check the label. 2 weeks later, Robert came back in. He sat down, and the first thing I noticed was that he was sitting up straighter. There was something different in his eyes. He said, "I don't know what's in that juice, but my wife says she's got her husband back." That wasn't magic. That was biology responding to the right fuel. Now, I want to be real with you. Pomegranate isn't a cure-all. It's not going to replace medication if you have a serious cardiovascular condition, but as a daily foundation, as a habit that costs a few dollars a week and delivers genuine vascular support, it's one of the most powerful and underappreciated tools in men's health. And it's just the beginning. Because while pomegranate is handling your circulation, you've still got a hormonal challenge that most men over 60 are quietly fighting every single day: testosterone. And the second fruit addresses that directly in a way that's both delicious and backed by real nutritional science. Let's talk about avocado. I had a patient, we'll call him Dennis. He was 66, a retired high school football coach from Georgia. Fit guy, disciplined, ate what he thought was a solid diet. But when he came into my office, he was frustrated in a way I recognized immediately. He said, "Dr. Bennett, I'm doing everything right. I exercise, I don't drink much, but I feel like a shell of who I was, like the fire's just gone." Dennis wasn't depressed. He wasn't sick in any diagnosable way. What was happening to Dennis is what happens to the majority of men after 60 in this country. Testosterone levels decline, quietly, gradually, without drama, and men chalk it up to getting older without ever questioning whether something could actually be done about it. Here's what I want you to understand about testosterone. It's not just a number on a lab report. It's the biological foundation of how you feel as a man. It's your drive, your confidence, your mental sharpness. It's what makes you want to get up in the morning and go. When it drops, everything feels harder, flatter, less worth the effort. And the American healthcare system's first response is usually to sell you something: a patch, a gel, an injection program that runs hundreds of dollars a month. But there's another option, and it's sitting in the produce aisle, right next to the tomatoes. Avocados are loaded with monounsaturated fats, the good kind, the kind your body actually needs to produce testosterone. Without adequate dietary fat, your endocrine system literally cannot manufacture the hormones you need. Most men are eating low-fat everything and wondering why their hormones are tanking. Beyond the healthy fats, avocados are rich in magnesium and zinc, two minerals that are absolutely essential for male hormone balance. And they're one of the best natural sources of vitamin B6, which helps your body regulate cortisol. Why does that matter? Because cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, is testosterone's worst enemy. When cortisol is chronically elevated, which is extremely common in men over 60 dealing with sleep issues, life stress, or poor diet, testosterone production gets suppressed. Avocado works to cut that cycle off at the source. Dennis started adding half an avocado a day to his breakfast, sometimes sliced over eggs, sometimes mashed on whole grain toast, very standard American breakfast stuff. Within about a week, he called my office. He said, "I don't know how to explain this, but I feel more like myself. I feel present." His sleep improved, his mood leveled out, and the drive he thought he'd permanently lost, it started coming back. Half an avocado a day. That's it. No expensive clinic visits, no synthetic hormones. Just real food giving your body the raw materials it was designed to work with. I also want to mention, avocados are high in potassium, which supports heart health and healthy blood pressure. For men over 60, cardiovascular health is directly connected to sexual performance. Weak arteries mean weak function. Avocado supports both simultaneously. And here's something practical. Frozen avocado works just fine. If you can't get through a whole avocado before it browns, buy frozen. It retains its nutritional value and there's zero waste. Now, we've got circulation handled. We've got hormones supported. But there's still one critical piece missing from the puzzle, and that's energy. Not the jittery artificial energy you get from a caffeine hit, but deep, sustained cellular energy. The kind that gets you through a full day without crashing at 2 p.m. The kind that used to just be there, automatically when you were younger. That's what fruit number 3 delivers. And I know some of you have heard me, or other doctors, say things about this fruit that seemed contradictory. So let me address the banana conversation directly. Yes, I know. Some of you have seen videos, maybe even on this channel, that suggested men over 60 should avoid bananas because of the sugar content. And I want to be clear and honest with you. That advice was overly broad, and it caused unnecessary confusion. For men who are managing type 2 diabetes, or who have been specifically told by their own physician to limit high glycemic foods, yes, portion control and timing matter. But for the majority of active men over 60 without specific blood sugar conditions, a single banana eaten with a source of protein or healthy fat is not the problem. It is actually one of the most effective natural energy tools available to you. Context matters, and you deserved a clearer answer than you got before. So let's set the record straight. Let's talk about banana. I worked with a gentleman, I'll call him Frank. He was 74, a retired electrician from Ohio, proud grandfather of 5, someone who used to spend his weekends puttering around the yard and keeping up with his grandkids. But when his daughter brought him in to see me, he could barely keep his eyes open past noon. He said, and this hit me, "Doc, I'm tired in my soul, not just my body, in my soul." Dump out. That kind of fatigue doesn't come from laziness. It comes from depletion. And Frank's situation is a perfect example of what happens when the body is chronically underfueled at the cellular level. Bananas are one of nature's most complete energy packages. They contain potassium, magnesium, and a specific profile of B vitamins that work together to support your cardiovascular system, regulate blood pressure, and fuel your muscles and brain with clean, sustained energy. Not a spike and crash. Sustained energy. The kind your body can actually use. Potassium, the headline mineral in bananas, is a natural artery protector. It keeps blood pressure in check, allows blood to flow freely through your vessels, and supports heart function. For men over 60, this is critical. Circulation and energy are deeply connected. When one suffers, the other suffers with it. Bananas also contain tryptophan, which your body converts to serotonin, your primary mood-stabilizing neurotransmitter. So when men tell me they feel emotionally flat, hard to motivate, kind of gray, adding a banana to the morning routine can genuinely shift that. Not in a pharmaceutical way, just in a your brain has what it needs kind of way. Frank's change was simple. Every morning he started with a banana with a tablespoon of almond butter and a big glass of water before he did anything else. Before the coffee, before the news. Just that. Within a few days he felt different, more steady, not wired, not jittery, just consistent. He told me, "I make it to the afternoon now without hitting the wall." And his daughter called to tell me that he'd been back out in the yard chasing his grandkids around on a Saturday afternoon in the Ohio sunshine. That's what food can do when you give your body what it actually needs. Now, for those of you with kidney concerns, this is important. Potassium-rich foods like bananas and avocados are generally healthy for most people. But if you have chronic kidney disease or your doctor has specifically told you to limit potassium, please check with your physician before significantly increasing your intake of these fruits. Your situation may be different, and I want to be straightforward with you about that. All right, so we've got pomegranate for circulation, avocado for hormones, banana for energy. 3 fruits, 3 specific biological functions. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Because the real power isn't in any one of these fruits individually. It's in what happens when you use all 3 together consistently as a daily habit. Most men treat their health like a series of separate problems to fix. Low energy? Take this. Low testosterone? Try that. Poor circulation? Here's a pill. But the body doesn't work in isolated systems. It works as a whole. And these 3 fruits happen to address the 3 primary pillars of male vitality after 60, simultaneously, naturally, and in a way that compounds over time. Think of it as a triangle. Pomegranate opens the pathways. Your arteries expand, circulation improves, blood moves freely, avocado feeds the engine, your endocrine system gets the fat, the minerals, and the B vitamins it needs to produce and maintain healthy testosterone levels. And banana provides the spark. Clean, sustained energy that powers everything else, keeps your mood stable, and allows your heart and brain to stay in the game. When all 3 are working together, you create what I call a daily foundation of male vitality. And men feel it. I had a longtime patient, I'll call him Gary. He's 69, lives in Colorado, retired civil engineer, active guy. He came to me about a year ago feeling exactly what so many men describe. Not sick exactly, not falling apart, just diminished, like someone had quietly turned the volume down on his life. He started eating all 3 fruits daily. Pomegranate juice in the morning, avocado with lunch or breakfast, banana as a mid-morning snack with some nut butter. Nothing else changed initially, just the fruits. A month later, he told me something I hear more often than I ever expected in this work. He said, "Dr. Bennett, I feel like myself again. Like the real version of me that I thought I'd lost." That's not a coincidence. That's a body getting what it's been quietly asking for, probably for years. And I want to be real with you about the timeline. For most men, the improvements start within 1 to 2 weeks. Pomegranate tends to work the fastest because nitric oxide production can increase relatively quickly with consistent daily intake. Avocado's hormonal benefits tend to show up over 2 to 4 weeks as your body's fat and mineral balance shifts. And banana's energy benefits are often felt within days. This isn't a 6-month program with delayed results. Most men start feeling something real within the first couple of weeks. Here's the practical plan. I'm going to give you exactly what to do because I know that's what you came here for. In the morning, 6 ounces of pure unsweetened pomegranate juice. That's about 3/4 of a cup. Drink it first thing, before food if you can, to maximize absorption. Pure unsweetened is what you want. Not pomegranate cocktail, not pomegranate blend. Read the label. If pomegranate is the only ingredient, you've got the right one. Fresh squeezed is great if you have access to it, but store-bought 100% pomegranate juice works perfectly well and is what most of my patients actually use. With breakfast, or as part of breakfast, half an avocado. Slice it over eggs. Mash it on toast. Add it to a smoothie. Eat it plain with a little salt. It does not matter. Half an avocado. Daily. Non-negotiable. Mid-morning, or with breakfast if that works better for your schedule. 1 banana. Pair it with a tablespoon of peanut butter, almond butter, or any nut butter you enjoy. That pairing slows the sugar absorption and gives you more sustained energy throughout the morning. If you prefer to blend all 3 into a smoothie, pomegranate juice as the base, half an avocado, 1 banana. That works great too. You can absolutely combine them. Plenty of my patients do exactly that. That's the whole plan. 3 fruits taken daily consistently. No complex recipes, no expensive powders, no program to subscribe to, just real food, eaten with intention. I've been doing this work for over 25 years. I've sat across from thousands of men in offices from Phoenix to Pittsburgh, men who came in convinced that what they were feeling was just the price of getting older. And I've watched those same men walk out of my office weeks later, genuinely surprised by how different they feel. Here's what I need you to hear, and I mean this with everything I've got. The decline you're experiencing is not inevitable. I say that not as a motivational slogan, but as a clinical observation built on 25 years of practice. The human body, even at 65, even at 70, even at 75, is remarkably responsive when you give it the right inputs. It doesn't care how long you've been running on empty. It just needs the right fuel to start firing again. You're not broken. You're underfueled. And there is a difference. We started with pomegranate, the fruit of circulation, the one that reopens the pathways that aging and poor diet have slowly narrowed, that brings blood flow back to the places that need it most, that has men calling my office 2 weeks later saying their wives have noticed a difference. We moved to avocado, the quiet powerhouse, the one that gives your body the raw ingredients for testosterone production, that cuts cortisol's stranglehold on your hormones, that brings back the fire in the belly, the groundedness, the sense of being fully present in your own life again. And we finished with banana, simple, honest, powerful, and yes, perfectly appropriate for the vast majority of men over 60. The fruit that fuels your cells, steadies your blood pressure, lifts your mood through serotonin, and carries you through the afternoon without the wall most men have accepted as inevitable. Together, these 3 fruits don't just address symptoms. They address the underlying biological environment that's been working against you. Circulation, hormones, energy, the 3 pillars of male vitality after 60. And when all 3 are supported simultaneously, consistently, day after day, the compounding effect is real. Your body has been waiting for this, not for a pharmaceutical, not for an expensive clinic program, not for a miracle, just for the right foods, eaten with consistency and intention. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Tomorrow morning, start with pomegranate juice. This week, get avocado into your breakfast. Add a banana mid-morning with some nut butter. Do that for 2 weeks and then come back to the comments and tell me how you feel. I read them, I respond when I can, and I genuinely want to know because this isn't just content, this is care, and you deserve to be cared for. At 60, at 70, at every age. You've put in the work your whole life. You've shown up for other people your whole life. It is not too late to show up for yourself. This isn't the end of your story, everyone. It's just a new chapter. And starting tomorrow morning, with something as simple and powerful as a glass of pomegranate juice, you get to decide exactly how it goes.